Alrighty, guys. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Alrighty, it feels like it's been a long time since we've been on here, because it's literally been a long time again. It's been about 2 or 3 days, I think, really in reality. Let me get... Where's that? Where's that? There it is. Oh, maybe. Losing my mind. There it is. Alrighty. Let's talk. Let's talk about life, guys. Let's talk about weather. We've got a lot of stuff getting ready to happen. Some potential candidates for United States landfalls this weekend. We've got severe weather to talk about, potentially a significant tornado day, both tomorrow and Tuesday as well, across Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, maybe getting up into the Ohio Valley. So a pretty active start to the week. If you guys didn't watch my video this morning or the one this afternoon or the one this morning or the one this evening, whichever one you didn't watch. If you didn't watch any of them, this is a super typhoon Razaga, I guess that's how you pronounce that. I don't know how you say it. But anyways, this is a Category 5 hurricane over here just south of Taiwan. This is actually getting ready to obliterate these little tiny islands here just to the south of Taiwan. And there's actually a population of about 19,000 people. Hopefully they all left. That is the biggest hope and praying that they all left. But these islands right in here are about to get obliterated by 185-mile-an-hour sustained winds. The latest pass-through or the latest update on this typhoon is pressure is at 897 millibars with a sustained wind speed of 185 miles per hour. I want you guys to comprehend that for just a minute. 185-mile-per-hour winds sustained around the outer eye wall of this monster storm. So imagine that, like, you got this hurricane, this powerful hurricane moving over your house. It's not just going to move over super quick. You're basically talking 185 mile an hour sustained winds over a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hour period of time. That's going to cause catastrophic damage. And that's what we're looking at here, over here just south of Taiwan. There's actually a couple storm chasers that actually moved up here to be in the path of this storm, which is pretty interesting to see as well. But yeah, like I said, a very, very interesting system here. And this is actually going to eventually make landfall over here into not the plains. I literally just said the plains. This is not making landfall in the plains. If that happened, I would be become a therapist at that point. This is going to be making landfall in China at the end of the week. So we'll be watching this, kind of keeping updates on this. But nevertheless, a monster storm, one of the most powerful storms so far this year in and around the globe. So just mesmerizing to sit here and look at this thing. It's just cranking. I know I do need to get it together. It's crazy as hell. But yeah, that's the latest update on this storm here. I believe when we saw... Let me go back to it here. There it is. So they had pressure update on here at 9:10. So 9:10, there is where it's going to go. Their cones look a little bit different, but it's going to make landfall as a hurricane here. It's going to actually pass just outside of Hong Kong here, which is also really interesting. And then it's going to go in China and it's going to do its thing. So we'll be kind of keeping updates on this, tabs on this. Welcome in if you guys are coming in. Yeah, China's going to get this one. And that's typical this time of the year that they typically see that. That's also not the only storm. Once again, just I'll show you guys the true image of this thing because it's not every day we get something like this to look at. Here it is. How about that? How about that? I mean, like, guys, if weather does not make you exciting, I don't know what else is. Like, this is insane. Like, clearly it's not good that this is happening, but what is this? Like, what? Justin, with the 3 months of membership on YouTube, dude, I appreciate it beyond words. Crazy that it's literally been 3 months. Props to you for being a part of it. I appreciate you beyond words. Thank you. I have more stuff coming, dude. I'm sorry there hasn't been a lot of stuff put out here on YouTube a lot, but we're working on that trend. So, just trying to work on stuff, get stuff together. There's also not been a lot of stuff to talk about, so I appreciate it very, very, very much. But yeah, guys, like I said, it doesn't get anything bigger than this. Like, this is like the most extreme that a hurricane can look like symmetrically wise. I mean, it's just wow. Just wow. Legitimately wow. I could sit here and stare at this all day long. I'm not even joking. Like, legitimately, I've done nothing but stare at this all day long. Here's a truer color version of it. You can see what this looks like as the satellite passes over it there. I mean, hopefully everybody left. I really hope and pray that every single person that lives in and around the islands here left. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, beautiful outflow bands with this thing. This is like the most symmetrical hurricane you'll probably ever see in your life. Probably not the most, or pretty close to it. So, Good news is this is not in our direction. I just wanted to show you guys this. You could see what is happening here. We can also look at, there's another typhoon as well that's just to the north of this storm. We'll take a look at Gabrielle here in just a moment. Here's the other typhoon, pressure at 950. This is a Cat 3 hurricane just to the northeast of our super typhoon. So we'll be, just kind of keeping ends on this. The good thing is this one here is actually going to go northeast, east-northeast here. So kind of wobbled west, getting caught up in a trough, going to move northeast as well. I believe this is the cone. It's going to kind of actually potentially even hover in place here, so, and eventually fall apart and weaken. So we'll kind of watch that system as well. So yes, there are 2 storm chasers. I know Jordan Hall is actually in the path of this storm. I believe when I saw Jordan Hall's post last, he is on one of these little areas down here. So he's going to be on that southern end of the eye wall, which they're used to chasing and being down in. But I can't imagine the amount of winds that are going to be with this system. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I woke up this morning and I saw this thing and I was like, Jesus, oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, he is with Aaron Rigsby. Yeah, I saw both of their post, Manders, so I saw both of those. We'll get to that severe weather here in just a second. We have severe weather ongoing tonight. We've got a bunch of severe weather we're going to be covering both tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and possibly even getting into the weekend. So we are starting to see more of a favorable pattern for severe weather as well. So how do I spell his name? Aaron is, I think Manders put it in the chat there. It's Aaron Rigsby on X, and then Jordan Hall also on X, I believe they're out there in the middle of this. So I'm actually pretty close to Jordan Hall. He's a pretty cool dude. So he'll actually hop in the stream sometimes, which is also pretty cool. Well, let's get a little bit closer to home, guys, because this is going to be the main topic that we're going to have for pretty much all this week, is we have the chance for 2 named storms behind Gabrielle. So we'll take a look here at Gabrielle first. We'll actually head over here and we'll come back to the National Hurricane Center look here in just a moment. But this is Hurricane Gabrielle. This is the Atlantic Basin's 2nd hurricane of the year. They got Category 1 status earlier this afternoon around that 5 o'clock advisory. It looks like a hurricane. It doesn't look anything near impressive as our super typhoon over in the west. But this thing is impressive. And actually, believe it or not, guys, you're going to probably not believe me on this one, but this is actually getting ready to become our 2nd major hurricane of the year. So we had Hurricane Aaron become our first hurricane back in August. Ended up becoming our first major hurricane, ended up hitting Cat 5 status. This isn't going to get that strong, but this is going to make a run at Category 3 hurricane status in the next 48 hours, and then eventually it's going to get swept out to sea and, go out into the North Atlantic Ocean and fizzle out and pretty much fall apart. So we'll be watching the system. You can actually see the trough off to the northwest up here that's going to yank this thing to the northeast, but it's still a very impressive storm. Going to add to those ace points there. So once again, there's the National Hurricane Center Outlook update for this. We can see that we are expecting a Category 3 hurricane by 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. So in reality, about 28 to 36 hours here before we see this get bumped up to a Cat 3. And then eventually, like I said, gonna move out to sea here. May have some islands out here that get impacted later on down at the end of the week, but not expecting this system to go anywhere near the United States, which is good. Cannot say that about what's getting ready to happen this week. And I'm going to try and use my words very, very cautiously with you guys, because I know a lot of people are going to see this map and they're going to be like, oh my God, we're about to get a major hurricane in the United States. Get ready. That's not how this works. Absolutely not at all. If you guys watched my videos today, we had this orange shaded area here. This is basically a tropical cyclone chance of development. It was at 40% this morning. The National Hurricane Center has now upgraded this to a 60% chance of tropical cyclone development. More than likely, we will get the name Humberto. That is going to be our next name storm on the list. And then this afternoon, I just posted a video about it a few minutes ago. This is now our next area to watch just to the west of it. And this is the one that I am watching for potential United States impacts. It's not clear set in stone yet if this system's going to go out to sea. You can see the margin for error. There's, a lot of islands, the Bahamas getting in on this, Puerto Rico getting in on this. That would be worst case scenario. And if the GFS model were to play out, which is what we're, watching right now, the GFS model actually has a landfall up here in Cape Cod by Friday and Saturday. So we'll have to watch this very, very closely here. We're going to keep you guys updated. There's, the European ensembles do still have this system actually going well out to sea here, but you've got to look at all things. You can't just look at one thing and go off of it. You got to look at them all. And right now there's just not a lot of uncertainty, and there's going to be some uncertainty with this until we get this system to actually develop. So both of these odds are going up. Clearly the orange shaded area will probably develop first, and then we'll have the second one behind it here. We'll take a look at those ensembles runs here in just a moment, but I just want to give you guys that update here because if you're along the East Coast, especially in the Bahamas up here around the East Coast, we've got to be watching. And even over here, I know these systems may not go that direction right now, but there are signs as well that we could get some development up in this region as well as we go toward the first week of October. So a lot of things in the tropics are going to ramp up. It's very, very normal. You guys know that hurricane season goes through November 30th. clearly expect that to do something at some point here. So we will be watching this. I wouldn't be shocked to see NHC issue something behind this, as well as down here. We've kind of been waiting for hurricane season to get going pretty much all year, and it's just been a slow one. So we'll see in the morning what this looks like once the National Hurricane Center updates it. Taking a look at these ensembles, I want to, kind of show you guys this here, because this is actually very, very important. There's a lot to take away from this, and this is just one run on the 18Z here this afternoon. I'm going to actually pull this back out here. We're going to zoom back so you guys don't get confused. And let's talk about first. So first, spaghetti plots here. This is Gabrielle. Like I said, Gabrielle is going to go out to sea. This is through next Friday. These are the ensembles. These are basically, if you guys don't know what ensembles are, it's basically 51 runs, single runs of the GFS, basically averaged out, and it'll show each of their tracks. And what we want to see with spaghetti model plots, long range wise, when we're looking for where is the system going to go, where can we get a system to develop at, where is it favorable at, where is it not favorable at, we want to see these lines close together, kind of like you see up here with Gabrielle. The first thing that we're watching for is right around Thursday or Friday of this week. It looks to be we're going to have a pretty decent little chance, and this is where the National Hurricane Center has that yellow area outlined, not the orange. We'll get to the orange one here in a minute. The National Hurricane Center has this yellow area outlined here right outside of the Bahamas. Now, basically what I'm getting at here is we could, in all reality, be looking at a tropical depression or tropical storm with the H name or the I name somewhere around the Bahamas by this Thursday. You're like, wait, this Thursday, that's not that long. It's not that long. That's really in 4 or 5 days. So that's why we're on here kind of stressing the significance of this, because we don't know where this is going to go yet. That's the biggest thing. And two, it's going to get very close, more than likely, to the East Coast. And like I said, that's what we're going to have to watch very, very closely here, is what's going to happen on the East Coast. Is it going to go inland? Is it going to go out to sea? A lot of those questions still have to be answered. But this is by Friday. Pretty decent little bit of agreement here that we're going to have some type of system to watch on Friday here. And like I said, the biggest thing, and this is the biggest takeaway that I want you guys to understand, is if we do get a named storm out of this by Thursday or Friday, and say this actually becomes something that we have to be concerned about, which is very possible, we're only going to have 2 or 3 days to get ready on the East Coast. So I'm trying to tell you guys now, whether we get a system that comes toward the United States or whether we don't, you got to be prepared this week. I cannot stress that enough, because if you wait until Thursday or Friday and say, oh, it's not going to do anything, it's not going to come this way, and it actually does, then you're only going to have about 2 days to get your shit together and get ready to go. And that's not okay. And I want people to be smart and be thinking about this. We kind of did this with Helene last year. This is not going to be anything near Helene, clearly. But when we got people ready for Helene last year, we were trying to let people know, days in advance when we were watching it potentially becoming something, ended up becoming a major monster category 4 hurricane. This is what I do, guys, is I try to get you guys ready. If you believe me or you don't believe me, at the end of the day, I hope you believe me and trust what I say. But my job is to keep you guys safe and give you guys that weather information. And that's what we're going to do here. So as we play these ensembles out, what you're actually going to see here, interestingly enough, is there is our orange shaded area getting a little bit closer, and there is our second low that's developing here. And then we even have a potential for a third low trying to develop by Saturday, which is a little bit interesting. This is new on the GFS this afternoon. We'll see if this trend starts to go, but I want you guys to understand, this is a little too close to comfort. I don't like seeing this personally. This will be the first time this year that we really have got to watch very, very close to the United States, due to the fact that we may not have just one, but 2 tropical systems basically almost parallel to each other by this weekend, just off the east coast of Florida, just off the east coast in general. And is this going to go inland? Is this not going to go inland? I don't know the answers to that. No meteorologist knows the answers to that. We just got to wait and see and find out. So we'll hopefully get more of those answers to you guys as time goes on. But you can see, if you look at the spaghetti model plots, this is very, very interesting. Like I said, especially with the GFS. GFS mostly takes that first wave out to sea here, just east of, the United States, kind of take like an Aaron path. But look at that second wave. There's actually a split with the second wave. The second wave kind of takes it up here toward the Carolinas, and then some take it, into the Gulf here. I don't think that this scenario is going to play out. I just think with the troughing coming through, it's going to probably keep it further to the east. You never can say never. And then we have this, and this is new. So besides our 2 tropical waves that we're watching off the East Coast this week, this is what's new. And if you play the rest of the GFS ensembles out, I know this is only one run. You take it with a grain of salt. Look what happens here. Look what happens. We start to see something getting over here near Florida as we go towards next week, the first week of October. This would be like the 30th through the 1st, the 2nd or the 3rd, and then more tropical waves coming off. So what I want you guys to understand, we have had a very, very quiet hurricane season. A lot of people aren't thinking. They're thinking about pumpkin spice lattes and what they're going to do for Halloween and Thanksgiving. I need you guys on the East Coast and in the Gulf to stay weather ready. If you have friends and family that don't give a shit, don't pay attention, now would be the time to let them know. We may not get anything, in terms of the, anytime soon or anything like that. We're still just need you guys to be ready, because like I said, No, we're nowhere near panic mode. Absolutely not. Nowhere near that. I'm not even concerned very much about that yet. I'm just kind of watching this, trying to get you guys in the mindset of it. Because like I said, anything can happen at any given point. We can literally have something form off the East Coast and then, make landfall within about or a couple days. So, that's just how it is. That's, October for you guys. As we go into the month of October, we have to watch these close to home systems. So like I said, whether they, come inland or not, it's still going to be something to be concerned about. So, like I said, we'll see what happens with this here. The ensemble's here a little bit vigorous in terms of that. I don't know if the Euro 18Z updated. Let's see here. We do have 18Z Euro in. Yikes. Okay, so that's interesting. So 18Z Euro, I believe. Actually, let's look at the 12Z and compare real quick. Let's do this. Okay, so 18Z Euro has our first wave here, second wave here. Or that's the 12Z, sorry. 12Z goes, and then both of these get pulled out to sea, which would be more than likely a good scenario. We'd like to see that. And then the 18Z that just updated. Interesting. So pretty decent agreement on development. It looks like that 40% wave hopefully will go out to sea. The second one, we're just going to have to watch and see what happens. So once again, guys, it's not a slam dunk that this is going to not hit the United States, and it's not a slam dunk that it is going to hit the United States. We're kind of in that middle territory. We're just going to have to wait to see how these systems develop, where they go. All of that will get figured out as we go through this week. The thing about it is, too, is, as I mentioned a minute ago as well, we're going to have to, like I said, just watch it, because one wobble to the left, model trends to the left, which the GFS has been doing, would not be great either to see. So like I said, we'll have to see what happens with that. So let me look at some comments here. Exactly. Very true as well, Rodney. Very, very true. Yeah, I think if we go back here and look at this is the one that I mentioned would probably get highlighted this morning, and they highlighted it this afternoon. Out of all these waves, I want to watch this one. I want to watch the yellow. We're going to watch both of them, but I want to watch the yellow one because this has more implications on a United States impact potentially by the weekend. So that's the one I want to watch. The orange one, not too concerning. We'll see what happens. Mostly going to hopefully take a Gabrielle path again. But I want to watch that yellow one, and then I even want to watch that second wave that's going to come off behind it here and maybe even go kind of on a westerly track here. So I just want you guys to know, whether you believe me or not, whether you think I'm an idiot, whatever you think about me, I'm here to give y'all the greatest weather information that you can get. That's my goal at the end of the day. That's what the team's goal at the end of the day is. Hopefully you listen. Hopefully, that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. So not going to get on here and give false information. I don't do that, unlike half the creators on TikTok do. So thank you guys for all the follows. I do appreciate it very, very much. If you guys have questions, if there's anything you need answered in chat, feel free to ask them as well. I'll help answer. The team will also help answer as well. I appreciate it. Country Boy, thank you for the heart. Me, Manders, Caitlin, thank you guys for the gifts as well. I appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, good to see you guys in here as well. Apparently, Sue, that's crazy too, bro. That is very, very true. No, there's no names. And what's interestingly enough is crazy as well. We don't have an invest yet. So we don't even have anything for hurricane models to go off of yet. So I'm thinking by tomorrow, National Hurricane Center, we can take a look here at these waves and just kind of see what we're looking at. I'm thinking maybe by tomorrow, maybe before that, we'll have an invest. The actual waves that we're watching, this is actually just a little sneaky wave in between. We're watching something down here to the south, not quite yet convecting yet, and then we're watching this wave right here. So we'll see what this little sneaky wave does in the middle. I'm not too sure on that, unless that might actually be the one. I'm not too sure. I'll have to wait for them to designate it tonight, and we'll see what happens in the morning. But not a lot of, if anything, happening right now. So like I said, in order to be concerned about a storm, we got to get a storm first. So you guys know how that works. So we'll take a look here at the GFS runs. I'm not going to spend too much time looking at dermatistic runs because they really don't mean anything in terms of long range forecasting. But if we want to look at this for shits and giggles, there is Gabrielle right there. Gabrielle will be moving out to sea. You'll see that tropical wave. What we want to watch here, and I want you guys to pay attention to two different things, and this is, very interesting to see. We've got one tropical wave right here, and then another tropical wave right here. This is the tropical wave right here that's more than likely going to go out to sea, hopefully. This is the one that we've got to watch. It's going to potentially kind of go like this and redevelop once it gets up here. And you'll see as I play this out, that's exactly what's going to happen. There's that wave. There it goes. Splits to the north. Boom. Maybe a tropical depression, tropical storm. The GFS dermatistic run is hinting at this by Saturday. Take this with a grain of salt, guys, because it's just one single run. That's why I'm showing this, is just to kind of give you guys the point on that. and then a tropical storm making landfall somewhere on the east coast there, and then going up and then out and on here, and then we get into La La Land, and we're not going to pay attention to this. But if you really like Fantasyland model runs and you want to believe this stuff, which makes no sense to me, I'll just show it anyways for shits and giggles. And then we have a major hurricane making landfall in Louisiana on October 6th, which is probably not going to happen because that's over 370 hours out. And if you believe model runs that long out, you might want to fact check where you get your weather information from, because that's not true. There's going to be a lot of people that try to use this stuff right here to overhype and fearmonger and scare, and that's not what we do. This is wrong, and this is wrong. Way too far out to understand and way too far out to figure out. So that's why we don't forecast storms that far out. But anyways, do I have questions on the tropics before we move to severe weather conversation? Because that's another conversation we're going to have tonight. If you have questions on the tropics, feel free to ask me real quick, and I'll switch over in just a second. Also, if you're new, hit the follow button. I do appreciate it very, very much. GFS does always do that. That's very true as well. That's very normal. And it's always typically the 18Z that does it too, which is always funny. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Oh, yes, guys, as well. We have applications open. If you are 18 and older and you would like to be a part of my lovely weather team, please feel free to message Rochelle there. So that's Spider in the chat, as well as also you can hit the application in the link in my bio. Yeah, what's interesting too, though, and I'll show you guys this as well, is the Euro, 18Z Euro this afternoon or this evening, believe it or not, now has both of our waves. So interestingly enough, they're both there. So we're, like I said, that's what we're going to have to really watch and see, is how these play out and develop, because now we've got ensemble agreement and we have model agreement on, you know, two storms side by side. So interesting situation. How can these models see a storm that isn't there? They try to predict moisture paths that tropical waves come off of. So basically, when a tropical wave comes off the coast of Africa, it tries to simulate, based off of the atmospheric conditions and the steering mechanisms that are ongoing across the Atlantic, where it's going to go and what's going to happen with it. That's basically what it is. That's why it's always hard to figure out where these storms are going to go until we actually get the storms developing, because that raw data is used to make the forecasting a little bit better. It's very, very hard to figure that out sometimes. We can take a look here at the Google Deep AI model runs as well, because these have not funness written all over them. I mean, this is just a mess, but you can see a pretty close, you know, system here to the East Coast, if not coming in. A couple more tropical waves. Gabrielle goes out to sea. The next one will go out to sea, and then maybe something over here in the Gulf, in a nutshell. So a lot to watch, guys. A lot to watch. So don't get strung up in, you know, like looking at spaghetti plots and all that stuff. It's just, we have to play the waiting game until we get a storm. So that's basically how it is. How far can... Ooh, that's a good question. It depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about the tropics, on a good day, maybe 3 days, maybe 5 days. In terms of like trying to figure out if there's going to be something, sometimes 7 days. But in terms of like, is it going to make landfall in a certain exact area and not change? Probably never, because hurricanes wobble, especially the stronger they are. So... The good thing is, though, models did pretty good with Aaron. Aaron rapidly intensified into a major hurricane, which some shown, some didn't. It's hard to forecast rapid intensification. But models did a pretty good job with Aaron back in August. Even though it got pretty close to the East Coast, that was an outlier scenario, and the models had that. It just verified. So, you know, this year so far, we've done pretty good, but I think things are going to... God, that scared the shit out of me. As we go closer into the month of October, things are going to pick up a little bit more, so... Yeah, weather is becoming a lot more easier to predict accurately. It's coming along. It's a lot easier for me as well to do as well. There's sometimes I can get, you know, figure things out in a little bit in advance. That's why I was posting videos last week talking about, you know, something closer to home. And, you know, we're actually going to get something closer to home now, which is interesting. So let's take a look here at some warnings across the United States. We do have now, yeah, we do actually, Manders. Enjoy your 2-inch hail. Enjoy that. Actually, you're technically just north of that. Hold on just a second. Wait, babe, did I read wrong? Oh, I did read that comment wrong. I did read it wrong. You said it seems like weather used to be predicted more accurately than now. I did read that comment wrong. No, weather is way more easy to predict now than what it was back in the day, because if it was easier to predict long ago, then Katrina would have been predicted better, than, you know, Irma, all these other storms would have been predicted better. But no, we actually do a lot better forecasting now than what used to be. Yeah, so we got a 2-inch hail warning here for portions of southern Minneapolis, Bloomington, Ridgefield, down here towards Rosemont. If you're in that here, you're going to get some hail and some 60-mile-per-hour winds. Clipped. I appreciate that, bro. I had a jump scare, dude. Like, legitimately. We got a little storm down here as well, just south of Sioux Center. This one's actually Torpas. Got a little hook down here. Good thing is, I'm not seeing anything impressive with this storm, though, so that's good. Not anything too impressive in terms of velocity. So, alrighty, guys, let's talk what's going to happen this rest of this week, because that's what I'm here for. Let's talk severe weather. Close this out here. We do have severe weather. We are actually going to be in live severe weather coverage mode both tomorrow and Tuesday and possibly Wednesday. We have a double slight risk for tomorrow's severe weather risk, and I actually would not be shocked to see a level 3 enhanced risk be issued somewhere in here for tomorrow, either for wind or for hail. We'll talk about why that is here in just a minute. I also expect an elevated tornado risk tomorrow. We are now pulling PDS TOR soundings for northern Oklahoma tomorrow on the HUR, the GFS, the NAM3K, you name it, they're all there. A big tornado day potentially for northern Oklahoma / southern Kansas tomorrow. We'll walk through what that looks like here in just a moment. But if you were in any of these dark shaded risk zones, the dark green or the yellow, there is a chance for severe weather. But my main focus is actually going to be both of these areas here, especially this one here, Oklahoma City up towards Garden City. If you're in these areas, you definitely need to be weather aware, especially overnight tomorrow. Tomorrow will be an overnight severe weather event, especially for Oklahoma. We hate those. Most of the time, there's always some type of tornado event that happens. I've done so many of them this year. It's actually insane. But we do have a 2% tornado risk tomorrow. I expect this to be potentially upgraded to a 5%, maybe even a 10%. Not gonna say that quite yet. I'm holding my breath on that one, but it does look like it's gonna be possible that we could see something. So if you're in Oklahoma tomorrow, we'll have to be watching out for this. We'll be doing live coverage of this tomorrow as well. But I am concerned about Oklahoma City, Tulsa, anybody down in this area tomorrow definitely will be on the chopping block for tornadoes, wind, and hail tomorrow. So we'll get to that timing here in just a second. That wind threat at 15 and 5% and that hail at 15 and 5%. And then taking a look at the risk for Tuesday. Also, Tuesday could be a big tornado day, potentially in the grand scheme of our setup for the Arclitect tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but for Tuesday. I'm watching this area for a upgraded risk zone potentially coming as well. For Tuesday, we're going to have to see how this plays out as well. And then potentially this marginal risk maybe getting extended up a little bit more, maybe drop down south. Just some different things that I'm looking at in terms of the dynamics for both tomorrow and for Tuesday. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that timing for tomorrow. The latest HUR model has me concerned. We'll start with our 500 millibar jet stream here, and we'll kind of work down the list here with our different ingredients in the atmosphere, so I can kind of get you guys an explanation on why things are happening and why not. If you guys also can't see you on TikTok, you can turn the screen sideways, full screen. Also, I'm live on YouTube as well. It's also can go full screen. So if you're able to see that, it should make it a little bit easier. Here's the reason why we're getting severe weather tomorrow. We have a little impulse wave on our shortwave trough that's going to be coming through. And what this is also going to do is kind of give us a little bit of a jump start here. So this little trough, this little ripple here in our trough here, where you see those darker colors here, this is a 500 millibar jet stream of about 35 to 50 knots, 30, 45, 50 knots in here. So just enough to kind of get severe weather going here as well. And then we take a look at that low level jet, which is what I'm more concerned about for tomorrow's setup. We are going to have a pretty decent LLJ right around evening tomorrow. And this is where the tornado risk really concerns me tomorrow night. I need my Okies, my Oklahoma people in here being alert tomorrow night after midnight, between 11 p.m., midnight, 2, 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is going to be another nocturnal event for you guys tomorrow, meaning damaging winds, large hail, possibly a couple of tornadoes, maybe even a strong tornado given the kinematics that are going to be favorable for tomorrow. So I need you guys, if you're in central and northern Oklahoma, especially tomorrow, this area right in here has my concern for significant severe weather tomorrow. I would not be shocked to see a level 3 enhanced risk be introduced. So this is a very, very strong low level jet. When you have a northwesterly flowing jet stream draped underneath of a southwesterly low level jet, you're going to end up getting a pretty big tornado potential. Doesn't mean every storm's going to rotate and produce a tornado, but the potential will be there. And that level jet will actually increase throughout the evening and then in the overnight hours. And eventually we'll do it all over again across Arkansas, southern Missouri, western Kentucky, Tennessee on Tuesday. We'll talk about what that looks like as well in just a few minutes. We'll take a look at Wednesday and Tuesday here in just a minute as well. Taking a look at our dew points here, we always want to check and make sure we got enough moisture in the atmosphere. And we do, in fact, have pretty decent dew points tomorrow. We're going to be actually, for this late in the season, be pushing 70 70s for dew points tomorrow, possibly some 60s and 70s. So we'll see what real-time data looks like tomorrow once it comes in. But I'm definitely concerned about a nocturnal tornado risk tomorrow night. I don't like to see these numbers in terms of an overnight risk. And actually, that moisture increases, and you can actually see where the low pressure is going to be at. I mean, you've got a pretty tight surface low here draped around about 2,500 to 3,500 Cape, and that's going to allow for the potential for, like I said, a couple of tornadoes, damaging winds, and some large hail. Also, just taking a look here, we'll go and take a look at the instability. Let's get this pulled up here. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Alrighty, there we go. Yeah, guys, please be respectful in the chat. You'll get blocked and muted in a heartbeat. There's like 20 mods in here. It's ridiculous. There no need to be a child or a troll. Like, grow up, seriously. Anyways, as I was saying, though, with the instability here, we'll take a look at those instability values, and a pretty big amount of instability. And this is what the HER is forecasting for tomorrow. So there's actually two different lows. We're going to have a low up here. This is going to be causing severe weather up in this area tomorrow for more of a sneakier tour risk, wind threat, hail threats. What's up, Connor? Good to see you, bud. And then this is that access tomorrow that I'm very concerned about, anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500 Cape. So once again, just a big day tomorrow, an overnight threat for severe weather. I will be charged up and ready to go, guys. We'll have the team in here tomorrow night as well. Looks like we're going to have to do our first overnight coverage event, I think, in a good 4 months, now that I think about it. I don't think we've done overnight coverage past midnight in about 4 months. Like, legitimately. If I'm wrong and somebody on the team, let me know. I'm actually quite curious on that. I think it's been about 3 or 4 months. So this is going to be the area to watch tomorrow night in terms of that sneaky nocturnal threat. Taking a look as well at surface-based Cape as well. I was going to say, it definitely has been a grip for sure. But yeah, the surface Cape is going to be ridiculous tomorrow in both regions. And like I said, for this to be a late September event, this is actually pretty impressive tornado-wise as well here. So what everybody wants to see, let's take a look at the supercell composite here, and then those tornado parameters to kind of give us an idea of that low-level jet. Very, very favorable for isolated supercells tomorrow. And we've actually got a supercell composite of 42 here. And Jesus, that is a beautiful photograph. That is actually really impressive. 74 over 73, that is like a storm chaser's dream photograph right there, not gonna lie. For anybody that lives in north central Oklahoma, not something good to see. This is actually one of the most impressive photographs I think I've seen in a couple of months. That says something, because we've had some pretty favorable setups, and this is definitely going to be on the list for that. So very favorable setup for tomorrow in central Oklahoma, north central Oklahoma through tomorrow night. This literally will start around 10 p.m. tomorrow night and go through 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. So an all-night event. Once again, if you're in north central Oklahoma, you guys got to have alerts on phones. If you go to sleep early, it will be on your covering it. That's just how it's going to be. Very, very impressive storms tomorrow. And we take a look at those tornado parameters. And if I want to show you guys this. This was the 18Z's tornado parameters earlier this afternoon. Pretty decent, right? Pretty decent amount of tour prepped for earlier's run. Taking a look at the midnight run, or the OOZ Zulu run that just came in. Yikes. Not numbers that we really want to see at midnight tomorrow night in north central Oklahoma. I don't like these numbers. I just do not. 6.2 STP, pushing close to, SIG tornado parameters here. This is ridiculous. Especially for the overnight hours. I don't like to see these numbers. Not great at all. Let me see if I can pull. I am just quite curious here. I'm going to zoom in. We're going to go PDS hunting for just a moment. Hold on. I don't know if it'll let me go local. Actually, I think it will. Let's try something here. We're gonna see if we can pull one real quick. I'm just curious. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it. Darn it. Never mind. Hold on a moment. We're gonna do it. We're gonna find it. We always have to do this on the streams, like every time. If I have to find a ridiculous run, I will find it. 6.5. Darn it. Okay, I guess I may not get one. I'll find it later. Anyways, though, the parameters for tornadoes tomorrow night in northern central Oklahoma is going to be concerning, and that's going to be through about 6 to 7 o'clock. Take a look at this, guys. This is why I think, in all honesty, this is Tuesday's setup. Ro, I know you have a friend that's in this area too, so I would be letting them know as well now that I'm thinking about it, please. This is Tuesday's setup. This is going to be afternoon, another high-end tornado day potentially. I could see both tomorrow and Tuesday potentially producing strong tornadoes with a SIG tour. I don't like Monday or Tuesday right now. These days don't look great. If you're in Arkansas or Oklahoma, you definitely need to be paying attention both days, please. Yeah, that's very, very spicy. And then it just kind of gets worse as it goes eastward there. Jesus, we haven't seen tornado parameters like this in a couple weeks. It's been some, there it is. First pull. That is the Arkansas line. I believe that is over in Fort Smith, is that sounding I just pulled. That is a gorgeous sounding. If you're a storm chaser, you love that. Does not get any better than that right there. Jesus. Very impressive setup, both for Monday and for Tuesday, guys. You gotta be paying attention. Both days, please, please, please. I could see both days going enhanced with 10% hatch tours potentially on the table. God, we haven't had anything like this in like months, I feel like. Yeah. It's a very impressive setup. Very impressive. Hold on just a second. Okay. Yeah, so once again, my Arkansas, Oklahoma people, we got problems tomorrow and Tuesday, so I'm going to say right now. Basically, this is a sounding. This basically gives us an idea of what the atmosphere is doing. So the green line's your dew point, red line's your temperature, all the way up from the lower levels of the atmosphere to the upper. You've got all these numbers. We can get into more of photographs on another day. I just wanted to kind of look at this and kind of give an idea of what the atmosphere is looking at. But yeah, it's very interesting, Connor. Very, very interesting. That makes me very intrigued for Eastern Oklahoma. And then eventually this will go westward. Let's take a look at, let's just take a look at the reflectivity and see what the reflectivity is doing here as well. Yeah, I saw that as well, bro. I also saw it's going to be an overnight threat. So there's going to be a capping inversion for most of the day tomorrow. That's basically a temperature inversion aloft in the atmosphere that helps storms from, expanding out in size and basically forming. So we're not going to see these storms initiate until after 8 p.m., 9 p.m. tomorrow. And it's going to start, I'll actually move it up here just a little bit. It's going to start up in southern Kansas. So we're going to have a couple cells. You can already see those stronger helicity tracks up there. That's around 10 p.m., 11 o'clock tomorrow night. And then my Oklahoma people, it may not look like a supercell or anything's going to initiate, but I want you guys to understand, we have done this so many times. We sit here and we look at models on the night before a major severe weather event, and then by the time we get to the next morning, it looks completely different. It looks like it either downtrends or it uptrends, and then by the time we get to 3 or 4 hours out before the event happens, it goes batshit crazy. So I don't care what the models are really showing tonight in terms of reflectivity. It does not really matter. When we get up tomorrow and I post my video and we start watching this tomorrow in real time as real raw data is coming in from soundings and from observations, that is when we start to pull things out. This is just kind of a glimpse for tomorrow. Don't look at this and say, I'm not seeing storms in my area. That's not how this works. These are model runs, and typically more times than not, when we see setups like this, models are wrong. Models are more than likely going to be wrong with this. So, and this is more of a supercell environment than a cluster environment. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I actually really think Tuesday's setup looks more concerning than Monday's. This looks like a really bad setup on Tuesday. I don't like that at all. Tuesday, I've been talking about, and my weather team heard this as well earlier today. I think Tuesday has a way better day than what Monday has for a significant severe weather event. That is a really bad event for Arkansas. If there's anybody in Western or Central Arkansas, Rochelle, you know what I'm talking about as well. I don't like that. That's Tuesday night. That is a lot of helicity with a supercell or two. Yeah, this is a very interesting setup on Tuesday. It's been forever, guys. If you're been watching for a while, we literally have had no severe weather to the extent of an enhanced risk in 2 months. Legitimately, it's been that long since we've had anything to this caliber. It's been that long. It's crazy. It's like we're kind of ready for it at this point, legitimately. So this is where the model stops at on Tuesday. We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what plays out here. Just taking a look at helicity tracks, and this is, something I have to watch because this kind of gives us an idea of where those tornado potential is going to be at. That's really good. Not good in terms of it's happening, but that's actually really, really decent. Okay. Alrighty then. So that's going to be for Arkansas Tuesday or Monday to Tuesday here. Maybe even see some potential isolated tornado potential for tomorrow up and down the Ohio River Valley. We're going to have to watch this as well for you guys tomorrow. Let's take a look at NAM. What is NAM doing? Hold on a minute. I'm just curious on a couple things. NAM turns literally everything linear, so the NAM's going to be biased to this event. You guys want to see worst case scenario for tomorrow? Who wants to see worst case scenario for both days? That's my first question. Who wants worst case scenario? Because I've got a model that can give you worst case scenario. All right. I love you guys are just ready for it. So this is what we call the Rufus model. It's the RRFS. It's a new model that's eventually going to be used a lot more. It kind of shows higher end scenarios. Believe it or not, it actually turns tomorrow into a derecho, which is actually really interesting. I don't think we're going to see that, but then I don't know, because taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center, they actually have... Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Yeah, they actually have, given the late development of linear forcing, mode is likely to be linear. So this may actually pan out. This may actually pan out. National Weather Service actually has an MCS tomorrow night. So we may be seeing a pretty big wind event tomorrow. That would be pretty significant. Oh, God. And then we get Tuesdays. Tuesday looks like crap. I am not ready for severe weather coverage mode. It's been so long, guys. I'm ready, but I'm not ready. It's been that long since we've had anything to this caliber. Well, there's us for the morning row, and then we go tomorrow. Yeah, Wednesday doesn't look impressive quite yet. I haven't seen much on Wednesday. We'll have to take more of a look at Wednesday later on. We look at the NAM, see what it's doing. Rufus does love worst case scenario. It does. It truly does. Springfield tomorrow. Beth, you need to be watching out. Late tomorrow night, potential for some storms, but morely in terms of Tuesday. Kristen, I would say, Tuesday as well. Yeah. Let's look at these tornado parameters for the NAM. What does that run? Hold on. Okay, there's an NAM for Monday and a Tuesday. Oh. Yikes. There's another one on the NAM. Oh, boy. So what I'm getting at, guys, is if you live in Oklahoma, southern Kansas, Arkansas, southern Missouri, northeast Texas, the next 48 hours are going to be rough. It'll be interesting. DFW, I'm not too concerned about. You guys already had storms come through tonight. Or you have storms coming through tonight. This is mostly going to be an Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas event through the next 48 hours here. So, yeah. It's not great setup. We don't like to see that. I'll go back to that again. Will Northeast Alabama get any rain? It's going to be really, really hard unless we can get the front and move down there. Jesus, these parameters are ridiculous tomorrow. Wichita, you're going to be close tomorrow. Very close. I don't know if we ever got... Did we ever get a CSU update for this afternoon? Did it do anything for... Not for this afternoon, for tomorrow. Yep, so CSU, there it is for day 3. Something's going to happen tomorrow, y'all. Something big's going to happen tomorrow, I have a feeling. I don't like it. We'll go back here again to that run. It's a very favorable environment. So it looks like, guys, we will probably start stream probably around 6 p.m. tomorrow is what I'm seeing. 6, 7 p.m. tomorrow if these supercells get going early. We'll do live coverage tomorrow night. Northern Indiana for tomorrow, mostly isolated to scattered severe weather. We'll kind of see how things play out. I was looking at the Ohio Valley earlier today. I wasn't super impressed with tomorrow's setup. Looks like we're going to have a big line of storms come through early tomorrow morning. Western Kentucky, linear line of storms row. There you go. That's impressive early tomorrow morning. And then, you know, this will track northeast and then another round in the afternoon. So if you're in the Ohio Valley, rounds of thunderstorms and some isolated severe weather through Wednesday and Thursday. We may have a more potent setup coming in on Wednesday and Thursday. It's a little too far out to figure that out. But overall in all, a pretty interesting next couple of days we're going to have in front of us, guys. Pretty potential impacts coming for a lot of people. So we're going to have to keep y'all updated. I would not be shocked. I'll let y'all take the bets out now if you want. I wouldn't be shocked to see a level 3 enhanced risk introduced. We'll probably see that slight risk extend through much of Oklahoma tonight. Level 3 enhanced risk. And then I do expect by the time we get into... oh, God, where's that? By the time we get to officially on Tuesday, we should see a huge slight risk up here with a level 3 enhanced risk probably introduced at some point. I'm just kind of speculating at this point. May get a couple tornadoes tomorrow. Maybe a strong tornado tomorrow. Given the environment that we're getting in. So, yikes. It's not the news I wanted to bring you guys tonight, but there's not much I can do about that, sadly. Also, guys, thank you for all the gifts. I really appreciate it very, very much. If you are new, hit that follow button. Also, if you are interested in joining my weather team, message Spider in the chat, please. We are needing lots of help on the team if you're over the age of 18. If you know how to mod on streams, if you'd like to just help give out weather information and save lives, please, 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 please. We are asking for help on the team tremendously. If you would like to be a part of that, please, please, please message Spider in the chat. Also, the application to apply is in the link in my bio. So... Huh. Well, it's about time that they put that out. It's a little bit too late for the update. I can't see that far out on Wednesday yet. Not quite yet. So, Minneapolis, Minnesota, you guys are actually in a severe thunderstorm warning right now for some small hail and some 50-mile-per-hour winds. It's just south of the city right now as well. Light green is general thunderstorms. Dark green is marginal risk for severe weather. So, if you live in Oklahoma, I will circle this area now. Hold on, maybe. If you live in this area, over the next 48 hours, tornadoes, wind, and hail is expected along the region here. This is what we are going to be watching for the next 48 hours, okay? We will have live coverage tomorrow afternoon. I will do a weather update briefing with y'all on stream tomorrow morning, probably around 10, 11 a.m. I'm actually going to start going back to the gym tomorrow. I'm going to try and get up early, get videos out to you guys as well, and we'll be doing coverage both days. We'll be having major tropics updates. Make sure if you guys live on the East Coast or in the Gulf, if you live in the ocean with the fishes, or if you live on the coast, make sure you guys pay attention as well, as we're going to have tropics ramping up as well. Wednesday is a little bit interesting. I want to watch it across the Ohio Valley. The setup looks very favorable. The instability does not look favorable. So that's what I'm concerned about, is if we get all the kinematics there and no instability, it's not going to do much for the storms. So the severe weather threat is there potentially for Wednesday across the lower Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley. It's just not set in stone yet. So we'll have to see what happens. All right, I'll get a couple more questions, guys. I'm going to zoom back out here so you guys can see our amazing and impressive hurricane, our super typhoon over here near Taiwan. If you guys have questions before I wrap stream up, feel free to ask. Yeah, it's going to be possible, bro, for sure. Is Gabrielle now a hurricane? Yes. Yes, yes. Is there a chance for a tornado near Springfield, Missouri? Not right now, no. Very low. Not as of right now. So. East Tennessee, excuse me, we'll have to watch maybe towards Thursday, Friday for a low-end chance, but I don't see anything impressive, excuse me, coming other than some rain as of right now. That can change, though, so make sure you stay tuned. My Western Kentucky peeps, we got an interesting night in front of us. Severe storms tonight through tomorrow morning. Let me actually take a look at that latest. satellite imagery, or the run again. Pretty decent little storms in the morning. We'll see how things play out. The models are back and forth with how these storms are going to unfold tonight, so could see some storms, some rumbles of thunder tonight. It's possible. Take a look up here. Yeah, I get storms coming out of Paducah down here, so some pretty decent general thunderstorms, which means row. And we get to be woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning again. Oh, the joys of fall. Guys, also tomorrow's the first official day of fall, so super exciting. Love that. This one's even got a little outflow boundary on it, too, coming up out of Paducah. North Carolina, general thunderstorms through the week here. About 1 to 3 inches of rainfall for the western portions of North Carolina. May see some of that rainfall enhancement off the mountains. But it was 100 today in Austin. That's crazy. My tooth hurts. Yeah, I saw that one as well, Sean. I saw that one as well. Yep, I'm ready for some rain. We had a nice little thunderstorm today that came through. So, all eyes are to the tropics, though, as we are watching not 1, not 2, not 3, but 17,000 hurricanes. Just kidding. We're watching 3 tropical systems. So, we'll see what happens with these overnight tonight, if we get any ensembles, any weird model updates. I think the icon's about to actually start running here in just a few minutes. See if the icon's gonna run. Maybe 17,000 clouds, I know, right? Yeah, the icon was showing both of these waves as well, so we'll have to see what happens tonight. So, thank you for the heart me, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the gifts. Oh, nice, Katie, heck yeah. Tornadoes, no, should be fine. Should be fine. Maybe a low-end tour risk on Wednesday. We'll just kind of have to see what happens. Manders, thank you for the lightning. Yeah, Jordan Hall and Aaron are out there. Oh, is Recon out there right now? Yeah, if you guys are interested in joining our weather team, if you want to learn more weather, I do teachings while you're on the team. You learn how to literally do everything that I'm doing. If you want to help in streams, message Rochelle there, that's Spider in the chat, and she'll get you guys hooked up with joining on the team if you are interested. We are looking for lots of help. I need help on the team if you have free time, if you can mod for streams, if you can just help in general, deal with crazy people in the chat and streams and help answer questions. I want you and I need you, so come join the team. Like, just do it. If you're thinking about it or considering it, just do it. Go put an application in. Make Rochelle become busy. Give her something to do. She loves it. Do I have anybody in here that is interested in joining? Like, has anybody messaged Rochelle? I'm curious now. Heck yeah, Justin, let's go. I can answer that now. Darn. Yeah, I know you did. I know you did, Sky. I'm excited. A cardio would be around that time frame. Yeah. If anything changes, I'll let you know. Just stay tuned to the channel. If anything literally drastically changes, I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, so I'll be pushing out updates. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Brian. It wouldn't let me do that either. It might be because it's old, outdated information. I'm not too sure on that. So. Excuse me. Alrighty, my lovely people. I'm going to get off and wrap this up here and get some sleep. I'm going to try and start getting on a schedule because I need to get on a schedule at some point because I don't have a schedule. But I will be having videos out for you guys tomorrow morning once I get back from the gym. Be safe.
if you're in severe weather tonight, be safe. We'll have coverage tomorrow. We'll have coverage for the days going forward here. We'll have some updates tomorrow as well for you guys. Hopefully some informative updates in terms of, anything good or bad, hopefully not happening. But other than that, I appreciate y'all very much. My weather team, thank you guys. As always, thank you all for the likes, the taps, the gifts, the shares. If you haven't followed, hit the follow button. My YouTubers, thank you as well for hopping in. Thank you for my subs, my members. I appreciate you guys as well. We'll see you guys back in here tomorrow. Go fill out the application, please, and join the team. Goodbye.